You watch your diet, exercise, get your routine checkups. But still, do you feel like your legs are losing strength? Climbing stairs has become a struggle. Walking long distances takes more effort than before. And even getting up from a chair is no longer that simple. Many people think this is just the weight of age, something natural and inevitable. But what if I told you there's a hidden factor present in your daily life that could be accelerating this loss of strength without you even noticing? The truth is that after age 60, it's common to double down on healthcare. And in that pursuit, many people turn to fruits. They are well-known sources of vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. But there's an almost invisible mistake that few know about. Some fruits, if consumed the wrong way or in excess, can seriously harm your leg health. Yes, fruits. Exactly what seems so healthy can, in fact, hinder the absorption of essential nutrients, promote inflammation, and even damage muscles and joints. It's not about cutting fruits from your diet, but understanding which ones may be harmful when eaten too frequently or without moderation. Fruits naturally high in sugar, for example, raise blood glucose levels and trigger inflammatory processes. The result? The function of peripheral nerves is affected, and this directly impacts balance, muscle strength, and even leg coordination. And the most worrying part, these effects occur silently. The person continues to believe they're on the right path, taking care of their health, while their legs begin to fail, their body weakens, and their movements become increasingly limited. That's why, before blaming age alone, it's worth taking a closer look at what's on your plate. Some fruits, very common on the Brazilian table, are among the main culprits of this weakening. If you want to understand which fruits these are, and more importantly, what you can do to protect your legs, keep watching. From now on, we're going to dive deep into this topic, because what many don't know is that, as the years go by, the body drastically changes how it reacts to food, and that includes fruits. Not all of them are welcome in the routine of those over 60. Some, even if natural, can bring more harm than benefit. Fruits with a high glycemic index, for example, cause blood sugar spikes. This triggers insulin release and speeds up inflammatory processes that directly affect muscles and joints. The result? Weakness in the legs, constant knee pain, and that stiffness that makes even the simplest movements difficult, as if the body were aging too fast. And it doesn't stop there. Certain fruits overwork the liver and kidneys when consumed in excess. And when these organs, responsible for filtering toxins and maintaining the body's balance, start to fail, the signs show up in the least expected place. The legs, cramps, a feeling of heaviness, loss of strength, and even trouble maintaining balance. And the most deceptive part, it all creeps in slowly, day by day, without warning. That's why many people only realize it when the problem is already advanced. One day, they wake up feeling weaker, in pain, unsteady. But in reality, that wear and tear had been building for a long time, fed by small, seemingly harmless choices, like that fruit you eat every morning. That's why knowing which foods support your body and which might be sabotaging it is essential, especially if you want to maintain your mobility, your independence, and the quality of life you've worked so hard to achieve. Fruit 1. Pineapple. Pineapple is known for its anti-inflammatory properties, especially due to the presence of bromelain, a powerful enzyme. But what many don't know is that for those over 60, this fruit can go from ally to enemy when it comes to leg health. Although it seems healthy, frequent and large consumption can have the opposite effect. More pain, more inflammation, and less mobility. The reason? Pineapple's acidity. In more sensitive bodies, it can worsen inflammatory conditions, especially in the joints, such as knees and ankles. Additionally, pineapple is rich in fructose, a natural sugar that puts a strain on the metabolism. And when the body is already slower, with the liver and kidneys working at a reduced pace, this fructose can overload the system. This affects blood circulation in the legs, causing swelling, heaviness, and muscle pain that seems to have no explanation. Another concerning point is its interaction with medications. People who take anticoagulants should be extra cautious. Bromelain can intensify the effects of these drugs and increase the risk of bleeding, bruising, and even loss of muscle strength due to poor oxygenation of tissues. In other words, despite its benefits, pineapple is not recommended for those already dealing with joint pain or circulatory problems. In such cases, the ideal is to opt for fruits with lower acidity and better nutritional balance. What worked at 30 might no longer work at 70. And understanding that is the first step in preserving leg strength and movement safety. Fruit 2. Banana. Bananas are convenient, tasty, and found in almost every Brazilian household. As a quick energy source, they seem like the perfect choice to start the day. But as the years go by, the body changes, and what once was fuel can become an invisible brake on your health. Rich in natural sugars and fast-digesting carbohydrates, bananas can contribute to fluid retention, weight gain, and increased pressure on the joints. In a slowed metabolism, as is common after 60, this glucose excess starts to promote tissue inflammation and fluid buildup, especially in the legs. The effects are clear: swollen ankles, heavy legs, and aching joints, especially after standing or sitting for long periods. But the problem doesn't stop there. Although a good source of potassium, an imbalance between potassium and sodium, especially if hydration is lacking, can impair muscle function. The result is cramps, numbness, and stiffer movements, all of which affect walking fluidity. For those already facing mobility limitations, this presents a real risk of falling. And there's also the silent impact on weight control. Excess simple carbohydrates from bananas increases the load on knees and hips, accelerating joint wear and weakening support muscles. These effects don't appear overnight, but over time, they gradually chip away at strength, balance, and energy, waking up in pain, struggling to climb stairs, losing stability. All of that might have started with habits that seemed harmless, like that banana at breakfast. Fruit 3. Grapes. Grapes are small, sweet, and give off the impression of being a light and healthy food. But for those in their later years, they may hide a silent risk that directly attacks joints and leg strength. The big villain here is excess fructose. When consumed in large amounts, this substance is converted into uric acid, and its buildup in the body triggers painful inflammation, especially in areas like the toes, ankles, and knees. This creates the perfect conditions for gout, a severe form of arthritis marked by flare-ups of pain, swelling, and warmth in the joints. Even those never diagnosed can suffer the effects of too much fructose. Pain while walking, stiffness when moving, and reduced mobility, all of which slowly erode independence. The problem worsens because grapes are easy to eat and hard to control. A handful here, another there, and within minutes, sugar consumption exceeds healthy limits. This causes glucose spikes, liver overload, and episodes of muscle fatigue and weakness, all without the person linking it to what they're eating. If you want to keep your legs strong, your body agile, and your mobility intact, controlling your grape intake is a simple step that can yield big results. Small dietary adjustments have the power to reduce pain, prevent inflammation, and preserve autonomy, something essential at every stage of life, and even more vital in later years. Fruit 4. Watermelon. Refreshing, light, and seemingly harmless. Watermelon is often seen as a great option for hydrating the body and relieving heat, especially among older adults. But behind its mild flavor and light texture lies a detail that many people overlook. Watermelon has a high glycemic index. This means that once ingested, it is quickly turned into glucose by the body. For those over 60, this type of glycemic spike can be dangerous. It not only destabilizes energy levels and stamina, but also triggers internal inflammation, especially in joints already naturally worn over time, like knees and ankles. Over time, what seems like just fatigue after a walk or difficulty climbing stairs may actually be a direct result of excessive consumption of this fruit. Constant pain, a feeling of heaviness in the legs, and muscle fatigue even with minimal physical effort are clear signs that something is wrong. Another critical point is the combination of water and fructose. Although it may seem like an innocent mix, it promotes fluid retention, especially in people with compromised circulation. The result? Swollen legs, a constant feeling of tiredness, and increased pressure on the joints. And there's more. Because it is considered a light fruit, watermelon is often consumed in excessive portions. 2 or 3 large slices may seem like little, but for a body that no longer metabolizes sugars efficiently, that volume is more than enough to cause overload. When this happens day after day, the impact on the body accumulates. Many people associate this loss of strength with natural aging, but the truth is that certain foods, even the most innocent ones, can silently accelerate this process. Fruit 5. Orange. Oranges are famous for boosting the immune system and being an excellent source of vitamin C. But what almost no one mentions is that, for those in their later years, it can bring undesirable effects, especially for those who already deal with joint pain or loss of leg strength. The main problem lies in citric acid. In younger people, it's well tolerated, but as we age, the body becomes more sensitive to substances that cause irritation or increase inflammation. And the acid in oranges, when consumed frequently, can do just that. Trigger joint inflammation, worsening pain in areas like the hips, ankles, and knees. People with a history of arthritis, osteoarthritis, or gout feel this impact even more intensely. Waking up with stiff movements or feeling discomfort when walking can be directly linked to excessive consumption of this fruit. Another concerning factor is the presence of fructose, the natural sugar in oranges. Although its flavor seems balanced, this fruit hides a significant sugar load, which, once in the bloodstream, quickly raises glucose levels. For an elderly body, this means more inflammation, more muscle fatigue, and less efficiency in movement. And the most common mistake happens in the way it's consumed: juice. A glass of orange juice can contain the sugar of up to 4 fruits, but none of the fiber that helps regulate its absorption. In other words, the glucose goes straight into the blood, amplifying all the negative effects. Those who drink this juice daily, believing they are doing something good for their health, may actually be feeding a series of small deteriorations that compromise strength, balance, and mobility. The truth is simple: even fruits with a good reputation may not be ideal for every stage of life. And understanding which foods support or harm the health of the mature body is a fundamental step to aging with more freedom and less pain. Fruit 6. Green apple. Green apples are known for being light, rich in fiber, and ideal for those seeking health. Crunchy, refreshing, and seemingly harmless. But this appearance can be deceiving, especially for those over 60 years old. The problem lies in a substance found in high concentration in this variety of apple: malic acid. In small amounts, it can even offer benefits. But when consumed frequently, it can become a powerful irritant, both for the digestive system and the joints. In people with stomach sensitivity, acid reflux, or joints already affected by time, malic acid can worsen pain, cause inflammation, and intensify muscle stiffness in the legs. Over time, this irritation can impair mobility, making movements slower, heavier, and less secure. And it doesn't stop there. Even though it's not as sweet as other fruits, green apples still carry a significant amount of fructose, a type of natural sugar that, in slower metabolisms, can unbalance blood glucose levels. This fluctuation is a trigger for inflammatory processes that directly affect the muscles, especially in the legs. Nighttime consumption of this fruit also deserves attention. Many elderly people report cramps during sleep, without realizing that green apples might be one of the causes. The combination of acidity and fructose interferes with circulation and makes proper muscle relaxation more difficult, which promotes these episodes. Therefore, even though it has a healthy reputation, green apple may be contributing to persistent pain, weakness, and loss of agility. Reducing its presence in the diet and choosing less acidic fruits may be essential to preserve lightness in your steps and autonomy in your daily life. Fruit 7. Mango. Mango is one of Brazil's most beloved fruits: sweet, juicy, full of flavor, and rich in nutrients. But for those who are aging, this tropical delight may bring more risks than benefits. The biggest problem lies in the amount of natural sugar it contains, especially fructose. Although natural, this sugar has a strong impact on the elderly body. It quickly raises insulin levels and triggers an inflammatory process that directly affects the joints, knees, hips, ankles, precisely the areas that suffer the most over the years. The result? Constant pain, stiffness when getting up, difficulty walking, and a feeling of fatigue that builds up even after small activities. But the effects of mango go beyond the joints. Insulin spikes also affect the peripheral nerves. And for those who already have a more sensitive nervous system, this can cause tingling, burning pain, loss of sensation, and even imbalance when walking. All this without the person linking the problem to something as common as a slice of mango on the plate. Additionally, when there's an excess of fructose circulating in the body, the leg muscles become overloaded. And with inflammation in the nerves and joints, strength decreases, fatigue increases, and simple actions like climbing stairs or standing up become daily challenges. That's why, despite being nutritious, mango should not be consumed in large quantities by those looking to preserve mobility. Choosing fruits with a lower glycemic index and lower sugar content can be a healthier and more beneficial choice for the health of the legs and joints. To replace fruits that may harm leg health, there are several healthy alternatives that not only promote well-being, but also help reduce joint inflammation, relieve pain, and improve mobility. Below are some options that are great for health, especially for older adults. Fruit 1. Red fruits. While some fruits hinder, others truly help the body age with more health. This is the case with red fruits: strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and cherries. These small fruits hide great power. Rich in antioxidants such as anthocyanins and flavonoids, they combat free radicals and help slow down inflammatory processes in the joints. This means less pain, less stiffness, and more freedom of movement. The compounds in these fruits also protect cells from premature aging, promote muscle regeneration, and help maintain flexibility, something essential for those who want to stay active for longer. Cherries, for example, are known for their potent anti-inflammatory effects. The more acidic varieties in particular help reduce uric acid levels in the blood, a key factor in preventing gout attacks, which primarily affect the toes and knees with intense pain. Frequent consumption of cherries can help not only relieve joint pain, but also preserve flexibility and improve movement quality. And the best part, with low sugar content and a high concentration of nutrients, these fruits are ideal allies for those seeking an active aging process with fewer limitations. Fruit 2. Avocado. When it comes to leg and joint health, few foods are as complete as avocado. This creamy fruit is a true ally for those wishing to age with more lightness and mobility. The secret lies in its healthy fats, especially monounsaturated fatty acids, which act directly against inflammatory processes in the body. This anti-inflammatory effect is essential for those dealing with joint stiffness, knee pain, or loss of flexibility. But the benefits don't stop there. Avocado is also an excellent source of potassium, a mineral that regulates body fluids and promotes muscular and circulatory health. Maintaining active circulation and well-nourished muscles is crucial to prevent swelling, leg fatigue, and that constant feeling of heaviness when walking or standing. By combining beneficial fats with potassium, avocado becomes a powerful protector of the joints and a natural ally against the physical wear and tear of everyday life. For those seeking more comfort in their movements, less pain, and better quality of life, including avocado in the regular diet can be one of the smartest decisions. Fruit 3. Papaya. Light, tasty, and easy to digest, papaya goes far beyond its laxative effect. Inside it is papain, a powerful enzyme that improves digestion and, at the same time, reduces inflammatory processes in the body. This dual action is especially important for those experiencing joint pain or frequent muscle stiffness episodes. Efficient digestion prevents overload of the gastrointestinal system, which directly influences the level of inflammation in the body. Less inflammation, less pain, and more mobility for the legs. In addition, papaya is rich in vitamin C, a key nutrient in collagen production, an essential substance for the integrity of joints, tendons, and cartilage. The more collagen the body can produce, the greater the resistance and flexibility of the joints. Therefore, including papaya in your breakfast or as a snack can help not only with digestion, but also with muscle health, recovery after physical exertion, and prevention of morning stiffness. A simple fruit, but with profound effects for those wanting to keep their body in motion. Fruit 4. Pear. Discreet, yet powerful, the pear is often an underestimated fruit. With a low glycemic index, it releases its sugars slowly into the body, preventing glucose spikes that can cause inflammation and damage to the joints. For those already dealing with diabetes, pre-diabetes, or wanting to maintain a more balanced metabolism, the pear is a safe and functional choice. Another strong point is its high fiber content, which promotes more efficient digestion and better absorption of essential nutrients for muscles and joints. When the intestines work well, the body responds with more energy, less bloating, and greater muscle stability. Additionally, because it contains a moderate amount of natural sugar, the pear doesn't stimulate inflammatory processes that affect joint tissues, making it an excellent ally to preserve leg health and reduce discomfort such as pain and stiffness. Including pear in the daily diet is a practical and delicious way to take care of health comprehensively, improving digestion, controlling blood sugar, and protecting your joints from the wear and tear of time. Conclusion: the right fruits go far beyond a pleasant taste. They have the power to directly influence your health, especially when it comes to leg strength, joint flexibility, and quality of life. By making more conscious choices, you not only fight pain and inflammation, but also give your body the support it needs to stay active, strong, and in motion. On the other hand, keeping seemingly harmless fruits in your diet that cause inflammation may be one of the reasons your legs are weakening, your knees hurt more often, and your energy seems to be diminishing. As we age, these choices make all the difference. It's essential to adapt your diet to this new phase of life. Including fruits that reduce inflammation and preserve joint health is a smart and necessary step for those who want to maintain independence, reduce the use of medication, and continue doing what they love without physical limitations. If you've made it this far, it's because you're committed to your health, and that's already a big step. Now, I want to invite you to take 3 actions that can transform your life and the lives of those around you. First, write in the comments, "My legs deserve health." This simple phrase reinforces your commitment to a more active and healthy life. Second, share this video with someone who needs this information. A friend, a family member, someone who's experiencing the same signs. This gesture could be the first step toward a major change in someone else's life. And finally, stay with me. On the screen, there are 2 videos we've specially prepared for you. They complement this content and will deepen your knowledge about health, mobility, and well-being. Click on the next one and keep taking care of yourself. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and activate notifications. Here, you will always find practical, accessible, and science-based tips for living with more quality and less pain. See you in the next video.